be live. It could be live. We should be live now. So yeah, I'm to do a bit of a jam, live chat and all that. Just gonna have to sign in to put the Discord link in so I can talk to people and do some news stuff and that. I mean, um, what's been happening and that. Oh, Dennis, my microphone quality's awful. Oh, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I think it's because I've got probably the phone right near it. Uh, anyway. Yeah, it's because the phone radiation thing is with the mic. Anyway, there's the Discord, so I can just try and get it on it myself. Oh, turn that down. Yeah, I just got to log in. Because I can't do it when Discord, because the mic has to do for ears, like for talking. Oh, fuck off. Ah, password's been a bit fucking arsey. Fuck around with this shit. Yeah, you can ask me questions, Dave. Once I get the Discord set up, yeah, you can come on and ask me. What the fuck? Fuck you, gotta do all this shit. Yeah, I should have been doing a bit more sort of practice and that. But it's just this won't let me in because it wants me to put an account. Okay, alright. But it's okay because it's better than fucking what the mainstream fucking piece of fucking tripe they're selling out. What? There we go. Fuck's sake, come on. Yeah. Try again. Yeah. Why mess around? Come on. I think it knows what I'm doing, as in I'm bypassing its crap, and now it's not having it. It is. I think YouTube knows how fucking powerful I am at getting the message across of not being a side nerd, and it doesn't like it. It's like, oh no, no, don't make the side nerds be manly. Oh no, no, make them wear makeup. Afraid not, afraid not. I'm talking. Come on, Jesus Christ. Ugh. He doesn't like the fact that I'm on YouTube and I'm doing everything that they can do but better because I'm not soyified. Yeah, there we go. It's okay. Fine. Oh, it hates it. YouTube hates anyone who's got testosterone in them. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't be going on YouTube. No, no, no. We don't like that. It's like, well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Look, it's giving me loads of crap. And it's no, yeah, I don't want to go on there. Oh my god, log fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's again? Yeah, this is fucking stupid. Mm, there we go. Reset the point. Fucking a lot of fucking around. Mm. Doing a lot of fucking around, didn't they? Look. How long's that? How long's it been? I haven't fucking gone. 15 minutes. Fucking, you know that I've got too much testosterone in me. You know these little soy nerds are fucking sweating so much soy that they've probably fucking messed up my fucking Discord with their soyness. That's what I've got to put with. That's what I've got to put with.
see. Access shortcut. Right. Can you hear me? Yeah. I think it's doing.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
can
so I can
talk to people
talk to
on
people
Discord.
on Discord.
I think for now,
though,
I'll turn it off.
turn it off.
Yeah.
See if that even works.
Here we go. Can you hear me, Tommy? No.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. Having a bit of problem with the. I don't think the mic was even on. I've got to like check. So yeah, I think a good job. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy busy couple days.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like where the 4th of July was a big sort of like American celebration that they wanted to cut out. And I saw you like on John Talks and that, man.
Yeah.
Showing like the 4th of July celebrations in, is it San Francisco? Was it? Oh.
It was somewhere in California.
Yeah. Miami. It was, as you say, it was like blue state that had just like had enough of sitting around listening to sort of like them saying stay in, and everyone's going out rioting. But you did a great job though, Tommy, man. Did a great job.
I was trying to keep myself under control and not go too crazy on John's channel.
Yeah, man, yeah. Because like I noticed on Stephen Watkinson's channel that he was on at the end, like when you give it the old, we're not bowing down to these social justice warriors and that, and everyone else like after that was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, my channel so and so and that, and just wanted to get off. I think one or two left. It was like, oh shit, don't know. But yeah, okay, crazy shit though, man. It's like, have you seen them black militia groups that I've got going around?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the monks like well, not on the channel, but I mean on the sort of like YouTube and that's like got this thingy sharing thing. I think.
Yeah, I was reading one article about it, and they went up to this area where there's a it's a Confederate memorial, and they went up to the park where it's at, and they were armed to the teeth, and went up there and they went to protest it. But the funny thing is they were armed to the teeth, and they called themselves a militia unit, but they didn't cause any problems. They just sat there and protested it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like Salty Cracker. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff, and that.
I have. It's been a while just because usually I'm tied up with so many other things.
Yeah, yeah. But like yeah, you've he was like modding and on the channel at the same time, man. You was like, and then releasing videos and that. Like, yeah, you got one of them Dr. Octopus machines sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was like saying like, oh yeah, the cops was like giving them sort of a what do you call it? Oh, like protection, a sort of like thing. Salty. Huge.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just like everything. Everything has just been just like, I don't even have words for it anymore. I got so irritated at the end of Stephen Walton's stream that I just let that go. I was like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I said you said it well, man. You proper like a good sort of like wake up call. Because the thing is some of these thinking like it's just a bit of a joke, as in like, oh yeah, it's a phase. It's what the kids are going through. This time, like next year, it'll be all over. But it'll get worse. I think because these lefties who are like Marxists, they're wanting total rule, and so anything that's going against their sort of agenda is proper going to be crushed down and squashed.
Well, I think the problem is, and this is where people come in with the, well, you know, if you just let it go, they'll just fizzle out and everything. Yeah, but okay, even if that's true, even if this time next year that whole movement just dies out, you're already looking at irreparable damage that they've done to all kinds of things that are just not going to be able to be repaired. All the statues that just like they've destroyed, all the buildings that they burned down, all the forms of media and entertainment that they've ruined. I mean, if you allow it to go without saying nothing, you just, you wind up watching history get destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and history comes in good or bad, but it's still history, and it needs to be learned, because if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat the same mistakes of the past.
Yeah. What I'll say, Tony, yeah, man, because like these statues, they're not sort of like getting worshipped in that. If there was people like gathering around the Karl Marx statue, worshipping how many lives communism had killed, you'd be thinking, oh yeah, that's a bit worrying. But if you have a statue of in the West where they're thinking life didn't matter till like World War One or something like, but there was life before like Western sort of like civilities of societies and that got to a stage where it was like the Wild West, as in that's why they call it, because it was wild. It was like you had a gun, and if you wanted to stay alive, you'd know how to use the gun, or else you get like shot or sold to slavery and that.
Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, you better be quick-witted to be able to get yourself out of situations.
Oh yeah. But like sometimes I say, like I was like brought up on like cowboy, and when you see the sort of like dangers they had to face, you needed a gun, and it wasn't just because of the wild and nature, sort of like with bears and coyotes and that. It was other people, just like America. If it weren't for the gun, there won't be much. I don't think there won't be much law enforcement in America unless they did like what Britain used to do with the sword fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that won't work because once the gun was invented, and it's like gonna be used, especially in a big, because America's so big, and that is like there's America, and then you've got Africa, and then like South America, and like Europe as a they're sort of like the main four sort of like or five main continents in that. You've got Asia in that, but America is a continent in itself. It's well, not North America and South America. But,
Yeah, well, it's the size of some, well, almost the size of some continents, almost.
no, it is because I can. Yeah, you see, because like there's so many states in that, but even the big states, but there's so much land in between. It's a big place, America. When you look at on the map and that, you can see how it's like bigger than China. And so yeah, because that's why I think America has to build the wall because it's bigger than China. So if America gets influx with like mass immigration and over sort of like populates it'd be bigger than China, I reckon. But yeah, it's still big though, as I say. It's like Britain, that's like a little state.
Well, well, Scotland isn't much bigger either, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's like England, Scotland, and Wales is sort of like joined together, and then you've got Ireland, and half of Ireland is Republic, and the other half is Northern Ireland, which are a part of Britain. So Britain it's like population, I think something like 70 million or something. It's not big. That's why we was like with this Brexit and that. That's why we was all like, yep, we need to like shut because there was loads of like immigration, and it was illegal immigration, but then there was the legal immigration that was just flooding in, where we had to just say, look, Britain's too small. it needs to shut its border and get back to nationalism, sort of thing.
That's crazy. It's crazy. I was talking to somebody. Oh God, who was it? I don't remember who it was, but I was talking to somebody, and they were just talking about all the crazy rules that they're implementing in Ireland, and how like they've pretty much, with the EU, that they pretty much like taken all their civil liberties away.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is it is probably in Republic of Ireland because the Northern Ireland, like, are a part of Britain, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle with like being separated from Britain when we left the EU, that the Republic of Ireland would still be under EU, and that's what they are. So they're having to take all the orders and do everything that the EU has told them to do. So most of like the Northern Ireland people didn't really want Brexit, not as in like they didn't want to stop the immigration and shore up the borders, but they knew it'd be because some of them have like families, you know, because like the sort of like our friends, sort of, you know, they're not a warring country. There's fractions that like want the British to leave Northern Ireland, but then there's people in Northern Ireland that want the British to stay. So it's a bit like Black Lives Matter. So apart from the IRA did like start bombing people and that. So yeah, they don't want that to carry on. Which, like, when we was in the EU did, but now we're not. They're in the EU, so they might be probably maybe attacking Brussels now. They might want to stop Brussels from being their head, sort of. But don't know.
I don't know. It all just sounds crazy to me. When I hear like some of the stuff where they say the EU says that you're taking these people, whether you want them or not, these refugees from other countries, like that just baffles me. That just baffles me that they can sit there and they could tell a whole nother group of people, you know, a whole country, they could tell them what they're going to do. I mean, that's just insanity.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like originally, the EU was 8 countries, I think. It was like Britain, Germany, France. I think I would say Germany, but anyway, there was only a few, but they kept adding more countries. And if you're adding countries in, you needed to get their economies like running good, because if the economy wasn't all that good, then you was like having to pay for them and that, and it was where they got too many countries, because it's like it ended up with like 28 countries, and so and there was only sort of like 4 or 5 who was paying out. I think there was about 3 or 4 that was like paying, but not really paying, and then about 1 or 2 that was just even. The other rest was like taking money and that, and so it just ended up where Britain was like, nah, we can't pay for like all this, right? So influx refugees and that, because there was countries that was letting refugees in when they should have been stopping them. They was getting paid to stop refugees from coming in, but they was taking the money and then just letting the refugees in, and then letting them go through their country. And so then it didn't look like they let any refugees in. It was like it where
I'm trying to think who it was. I want to say it was Italy, that they turned a bunch of refugees away.
yeah, like because there was a like shipping oh hey, give me a second. You need to finish this hot chocolate before it gets cold. Yeah. There was like a shipping sort of radar sort of thing where you saw, because I can't remember. Oh, it's Morocco. There was from Morocco, but anyway, there's a place in Africa where they could just sail across, like, and there was seeing the ships going from like Morocco or somewhere to like a few miles outside of the Italy sort of shipping lanes, and putting the refugees there and that, and then going back and picking up some more, and then there was taking them in. But the Italian government, because when Brexit happened, them refugees couldn't go to Britain, and France was getting rid of the refugees to Britain, so they didn't want any more in. And so they had nowhere else to go, and so the Italians got like a bit fed up with it, and yeah, they sent them back, sort of thing. There was a bit of a thingy where the mayor started going like national sort of votes. So like, yeah, one of the mayor sent them back in that. I think like they've stopped it now, sort of.
Yeah, that freaking I just I've never understood the whole EU thing. I've never understood it. And I never understood how people could have backed it, quite honestly. But then again, you know, like anything else, it probably didn't start off like that.
No, it started off first with just having free sort of trade agreement, as in like there was no tax being paid and that, and it was like easier for I think a bit like with Canada and America, as in
Oh yeah, North American Free Trade Agreement or something, I think it's called.
yeah. It's where you're allowed in because it's like, yeah, you're from Canada, you're gonna be sort of like quite reasonable, sort of thing. So they're much as a check as from other countries and that, because yeah, and so it started off like that, but then like I think it was back in the 90s, sort of thing, because everything in the 90s was like all right, and like people were sort of being okay, but then Tony Blair got in, and then he started. But this was sort of like when he sort of like relaxed. But I think it was going around everywhere where they just started relaxing the sort of immigration sort of where they were just letting loads. So it just became where the EU, it was central banks and all, where, because this is why I've been going on about Soros, because America probably don't not know him, but as much as like the British do, because he tried to like destroy the pound, because he was investing in Britain and getting the EU, the euro, like real low. And then when the euro was low, he'd invest in the euro, and then because he was trying to crash the pound, so he's investing in the euro. But because like Britain sort of like had a bit of a reserve, and because Gordon Brown, he sold all the gold reserve, and so yeah, then Britain sort of just became a sort of like plaything for George Soros, which is going to America now with all this sort of like Black Lives Matters, where he's trying to crash the like US dollar, probably investing in the Chinese yen.
Well, I'd seen something about him. They said that he was That he was tied to the Nazis.
Yeah. He was like a kid, and
A Hitler Youth.
yeah, sort of like but I think he's Jewish and all because he was one of them where his parents or whatever gave him to someone else who was not Jewish and said, "Oh yeah, say that he's your nephew or and pretend he's German and not Jewish." And so like he sort of like West, as you say, the youth. He was thingy. Oh, what do you call it? I think it was like something. He was doing something. You know when like the Nazis was stealing all the like valuable paintings, all that
Yeah.
gold. Yeah, I think he was sort of like one of the accountants for that. You know, like he was like marking down sort of like what was what and where it was going and that. He was because I don't think he killed anyone, but you never know because apparently he did say he thought it was okay.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just heard some stuff about him in passing, so I only knew what little bit I knew about him. But anybody that's even tied to that stuff remotely,
yeah. Well,
you know.
Well, the thing is he's sort of like going on the sort of like German theory of getting a super race going, and because like he's rich as fuck, and with these rich people, you get to a point where you've got so much money, you've done so much that you need something to occupy your mind, and making a super race occupies their mind, and so they're just wanting everyone to like merge with like AI and that, and become like one, as in like a commune where, like the Borg, where you just doing stuff that like you think normal, and it'll be terrible for anyone who like has to live under it. Like,
I mean, it really is unfortunate though when you think about it. Like the level of common sense that has declined over the years, and it's just pretty much just like started to vanish. I mean,
yeah, well, they're getting paid by like globalists. They got so much money in that, like they earn sort of billions in like hours or not, well, sometimes hours, depending on like what they're doing. But they've got so much money that they're just paying people to sell their country out. It's like Hollywood. Because I was talk as you probably know. I've been talking about like the Chinese Charcom in Hollywood because they're sort of like getting the sort of propaganda of don't be masculine, don't be answering back, and don't be like not going and watching out films and that. Where
I mean, the crazy thing about that with the whole thing with China, you know, they've been doing that kind of garbage for a long freaking time too. I think probably longer than most people even realize when it comes to entertainment, because Blizzard and their World of Warcraft game, you know, when they opened the market up to China, which they weren't allowed to open the market up to China for a really long time. But when they finally opened the market up to China, you know, the Chinese government actually told them that they had to revamp their entire game to make it fit their agenda before they would allow it to come in.
Yeah. Well, the Chinese hate gay people. Well, no, I don't know about hate. The Chinese hate them, but they definitely don't want there to be homosexuality promotions.
Well, there's a lot of things that they don't allow, like in that world, and the reason I use that game because it just shows the ridiculousness of China when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any kind of iconography that shows anything that's dead or anything with blood is banned because they're afraid that that's going to cause people to want to fight back against the government or something.
Yeah, yeah, probably hate sort of like anything to do with resisting sort of authoritarian, and most like computer games are sort of like based on you're fighting someone, aren't you? Unless it's like that Animal Crossing is for women. But, yeah, I'll tell you something. No, Tommy, they hate ghosts, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another thing that falls right into the dead and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Skeletons too. That was another big no because in World of Warcraft there was a lot of like undead races where you could see their skeletons.
Right,
That all had to be completely revamped before it could go to China because that was a big no there. It's like a big taboo no with them.
Yeah. Well, the reason why they don't like ghosts and anything to do with the undead and anything to do with sort of like the afterlife is because it's religious, and communism don't like religion because people with religion are less easier to control because they don't see you as the authority, they see their god as the authority. So communism hates religion.
Well, do you know why the Chinese hate it more than any other communist country out there?
No.
Because they look at what happened with Russia.
Yeah.
Russia was communist, but they still had a very high religious faith still going on. Shit, what the hell was their Orthodoxy Christian or Orthodox Christians or
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
and yeah, but because of that, they looked at that and they probably think, well, that probably helped lead to the decline of Russia as being a communist country, and that's probably the way they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because when people have faith, and they have hope, they're willing to stand up and fight. Now, when you beat them into submission, you take all their avenues of hope and faith away. What do they have left to fight back against? Do they even have the strength to do it at that point? Probably not.
No, they want to crush people's sort of like willpower and that in it, and yeah, taking someone's sort of like religious beliefs is sort of like where you're giving them nothing. Because what was that Talcum X? You know that, King. I don't know, but anyway, he wants to take down the Jesus statues, doesn't he? The Jesus like on the cross. Like the statues, they're just crosses and yeah.
Well, there was an article somewhere I read that there were some of those Looney Tunes that they were talking about now they have like a big giant statue of Jesus somewhere in like down Brazil or somewhere.
Yeah.
They were talking about they want to take that down too.
Yeah, Rio, innit? It's that big massive thingy looking over Rio. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. They'll need more than a few ropes to take that one down. It's like the Statue of Liberty. I think it's one of them where people go inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't get inside
I actually got a chance to go to that once, and I went there. But unfortunately, when I went, they were doing what's the word I'm looking for? They were basically reskinning it. So they were fixing the torch and everything. I couldn't go all the way to the very top, but I was able to go up to the top of I think it was the crown of the statue. That was as high as you were allowed to go, but you couldn't go up to the torch because that was closed off.
Yeah. Well, that talk on a windy day, I bet it's a bit scary because it must rock a bit. That's why,
I would think so.
yeah.
I mean, that's like it's like all steel girders and everything like that. It's just it's got a steel girder like skeleton on the inside with just that copper and everything on the outside.
Yeah, it is. Mm. So, been a bit flimsy. That's it. It's been standing there though for years because just so like where it's being built good though. It's not being using any of that Chinese steel because that was the other thing with China. Their steel is crap. And
Well,
so,
that's the funny thing. I mean, that thing was built in what? That was built in France. It was completely built there, disassembled, and then shipped over here and then rebuilt on the spot.
yeah, it was like craftsmanship and everything. It's like the boats and everything that was done in them sort of that was made to be like good in that. Always sort of like trying to make them want these to last a couple of 100 years, where nowadays that's for about 10. You usually, because that's the thing with marketing and all, they don't want things to last that long because they want you to buy a new one every so often.
Well, look at like TVs and phones and everything else. I mean, even like even when I was a kid, you would get a TV, and that TV would be good for at least good 15 years, if not longer.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
You buy a TV now, and if you can get 10 years out of it, you feel fortunate. Hell, sometimes if you get 5 years out of it, you might feel fortunate.
Yeah. I remember the first time I'd like known about the plasmas or whatever burning onto the TV if you left like a sign. One of my mates dad used to watch Sky Sports or Sky Summer, and he'd bought one, and because he was watching that certain channel all the time, it burned in sort of like that Sky.
Well, that I don't know if I'm sure you remember this. Like early on, when the first video game systems came out, they always said if you're not going to be playing it, make sure you turn it off or turn the screen off because it'll burn the video game image into the screen.
I forgive me, like didn't really no, but I don't like in the plasma one, like the old ones, like the thingies used to go though, didn't they? In the old one, with like the colours, and so then if one of the colours went, because it'd be like a red, blue, and a yellow, or a green, depending on that, and like one of the colours went, it look a bit sort of. Because I had a TV where one of the colours went a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I didn't even have like a color TV. My dad wouldn't get me one because at the time they were still kind of expensive. He gave me an old black and white hand-me-down thing. It's funny. It's funny. It was one of the ones that was made in like the mid to late. I would say mid 70s. So it had the plastic outer casing on it, but the plastic outer casing was all white. So the damn thing almost looked like a Spaceballs helmet, the way it was shaped.
I think I know the ones you mean. Because they did look like a bit like a ball, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And then you'd have to have the rabbit ears on it.
Yeah.
Now here's something funny. You might get a giggle out of this. This was during the time when cable TV was like the brand new thing, and you had like HBO and stuff like that. When it first started coming out, like Prism and all them. My dad had bought me, it was like one of those old ColecoVision like plugins for like Pong.
Oh yeah.
And I plugged this thing into the TV, and I don't know what happened, but when I plugged it into the TV, I wound up getting HBO on my little UHF black and white TV.
Yeah, yeah.
I still, to this day, cannot figure out how that happened.
He must have acted like a signal receiver or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
assuming
Yeah.
like maybe it was a little bit because it was a little bit older of a game. I guess maybe it just it picked up on that signal for some reason when it shouldn't have. It was kind of funny. I had to show my father that because he didn't believe me. I said, Dad, look, I got HBO on. He's like, how the hell did that happen? I said, I plugged the game in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like, there was a few times where like, they had like other sort of channels and that, but because it was Sky, it was with dishes and that. But like, if it was like a TV signal, or sometimes you could pick up another sort of like district sort of TV sort of thingy, but it'd be rarely crap. Yeah, thingy.
No,
I know.
remember those early dishes too?
Yeah, yeah. Because we had one sort of like when it, but yeah, we didn't have it.
They were like the size of a car.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You mean like to pick up like World TV because there was somewhere, but you need like a back garden where you could get every sort of TV station, but it'd be moving the dish would have to move to get certain channels, and but there was massive.
Yeah, I think I was talking to somebody about this. I said I think like most of these cable companies within the next 5 years are probably all going to start dying out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think streaming and like the internet is sort of like people sort of want because it's at their fingertips. But
Yeah,
yeah,
most definitely.
mm, but some people they're still a bit lazy in that, and they think that the mainstream media knows what they're talking about, and so there will be some people who will just watch stuff because mainstream media says it's good.
Well, here's what I foresee happening. Maybe this is just me. I foresee that the streaming wars are going to get to a point where too many companies are losing money, and then companies are going to start buying out other companies that are making partnerships. And then next thing you know, they're going to be offering streaming services with multiple different companies on one, and they're going to wind up charging just as much, if not more, than what the cable TV was getting up to. And then everybody's going to be right back into the same boat they were with cable TV, paying these extraordinarily high bills to get their entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. It is going to be a sort of like with most sort of companies and it where two or three will rise and the rest will just sort of like merge into them or just be bought out completely. Yeah, and then like with Disney where it's ended up one. That's when it's bad.
I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that Disney falls on their face.
No, no. Well, like this is what I've been trying to tell like people, but people just don't take me as serious because it's probably because I'm not that much of a serious character, but it's seriously they're getting back to fuck man, and they're 100 billion. They could easily make 100 billion loss, and it'd still get backed up. It's like the globalists and that they've got loads of money and they're doing lockdowns and all, probably to make this money back. So because all like the globalists is they're getting rid of all these like local businesses and they want the globalists to be sort of like getting all of the money so they can just do what they want.
Well, I know Disney with the money that they've been losing,
Yeah.
they're actually at the point where it's a good possibility that they may collapse, or at the very least they might have to start selling off franchises in order to stay afloat.
Yeah, well, they might sell off some franchises to like burden the loan, but I still think though it's not going to be until they realise that people will not like go see their films and that because they know that they've got like globalists who just control like mainstream media, most of like the politicians and they know that if they keep just doing what they say and that they're going to get paid because the globalists they just need to get people brainwashed enough that they just don't want to be complaining anymore.
Yeah, it's slowly starting to fall apart. I mean, I'm just hoping that with the rise of people that are fed up in California, then they had enough and they're speaking out. And with the people, you're starting to see it more and more with people around the world that are starting to speak out against this ridiculousness that it continues and it doesn't just. It's not just a flash in the pan just because people felt offended at that particular moment.
Yeah,
I mean that. I mean that's what it needs. It needs to be a long-term fight to reclaim some kind of sense of normalcy.
yeah. Well, as I said, I don't think it's gonna be until like they know people aren't gonna go see their stuff because with the stuff they're releasing, like with Black Widow, like before the lockdowns, people was all yeah, it was a few years too late and all this and that. But now with these lockdowns, some people think else to watch, and so they just sort of gonna keep plowing money into it, and people are like, no, we're not watching this. I reckon if they start seeing people going to other places and getting entertainment, but that's why these lockdowns they're trying. They're gonna be doing anything viewers are. I hello? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's a bit hoping, and it's where keep hoping and that, and the gonna be dangling bits and that, but like the Mandarin, like that was half deep. Probably I trying to get that like down to a level where people.
No, I know myself. I've never wanted to watch it.
Oh, you haven't seen the Mandalorian?
Nope, didn't want to watch it.
Oh, it's good.
But my problem is I hate Disney that much that
Yeah,
I won't how can I put that
yeah.
I
From there,
I won't fall back on my principles
yeah, man.
because they did me dirty a couple times. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No, no.
Yeah, they made false claims against my channel.
All right. Fucking hell,
Uh,
no, you know.
yeah. I actually did I did music where I did it in the vein of the Star Wars music, but I did it myself. And
All right.
they were laying claims to it. And I've actually had a couple other companies that tried to lay claims and stuff too. Like I had one with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it wasn't the original music. It was completely like original take on it, and this a company tried to claim it, and then another company tried claiming on the same video for the same music, but in a different spot. So I had two companies claiming that they could claim the music on the same video, and it wasn't even the original music. I'm like, yeah, I fought both of them, and they both had to wind up taking the claims off. And the same thing with Disney. Disney tried making claims, and they even tried making a claim on my channel for Fox.